12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Apollo 11, when man first landed on the moon, regarded as being one of mankind's greatest achievements. But the question is, did we really land on the moon? The idea of this has been portrayed multiple times in media. For example, in The Shining, or to name a more recent one, Weird Al Yankovic's Foil.
And still the government won't admit they faked the whole moon landing.
I'm dead.
I think it was faked, and here's why. Let me start off with a few coincidences. John F. Kennedy promised America that we'd land on the moon before 1970. Kind of fortunate that it was 1969 when we landed. We also desperately needed to beat the Soviets during this time. So, this strengthens the theory that the landing was faked. Now that I've shown you a few basic points, they could very well be coincidence, and I've opened up your mind a little bit more to this theory, possibly. Let's move on to the solid fact. Number 1, the images. To start this, I'm displaying some images on screen. Look closely. Do you see it? How about now? This mark looks remarkably like a C, almost as if it were a set piece. This could be natural, but the C is so neatly drawn, perfectly shaped, and so greatly symmetrical that it's hard to deny its importance in this theory. Number 2, the mountain. Look at this picture. Now look at this picture. And finally, this picture. Notice something? Look at the background. That mountain disappeared. Last time I checked, mountains don't just grow legs and walk off. Coincidence? I think not. Number 3, shoe prints. There's a lot to say in this category. For example, look at this picture. It zooms in on 2 footprints. One looks like a tennis shoe on the freaking moon, while the other looks like a moon boot, right? Well, look at this. Neil Armstrong's footprint, the one small step for man footprint. But a quick look at his boot in the museum shows that this isn't his print at all. The shoe on his spacesuit looks nothing like the shoe print that was left on the moon. Not even Buzz Aldrin's suit matches the print. So who left it? One more thing. Do you see an impact landing where the ship landed? Because this is just common knowledge. If something comes down into dust, there's going to be like dust that settles, and there's going to be an obvious look of impact. But there's not burned sand underneath of it from the oil being burned to help it land slower. And there's no impact where the actual legs touch down on the moon. Number 4, lighting. Look at these pictures here. They explain in full why this landing was not possible. The light showing shadows one way while the light source is being reflected in the visor at a totally different location. Now, something else to think about is the fact that look at how many light sources are in this picture. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? More than one is not enough, because there's literally the sun and the earth that would be reflecting light. There is nothing more, nothing less. Number 5, no stars. I know this one has supposedly been debunked, but it's simple to see that not a single star is reflected, not one. Yet the Earth is still seen in full. No reflection, which reduces intensity in the lenses of the stars are seen, and yet there are other pictures taken at the same time that this picture was taken, which show stars in space perfectly. Like this one. That's the sun. The sun is brighter than all the stars from our perspective because of how close we are to it. Yet we can still see it, but not other ones because their lights are too intense. So, this concludes my little speech on why I think that the moon landing was staged by the government because, we needed to beat the Soviets during this time. Simple as that.